Hi everybody, I'm Jason. I'll be teaching your art appreciation class this semester. Sorry it's taken so long to get this video up. I've recorded this exact same message at least 15 times now. It's not an exaggeration. So there's a good possibility that nobody's ever going to see this. Fingers crossed. I'm going to give you guys a quick introduction to me, and then I'll give you guys some information about working through the course and submitting that first discussion board assignment. So the introduction. I live here in Winston-Salem, have for about 10 years now. I've worked full-time at Forsyth Tech for 4 of those years, and I was an adjunct faculty member for 3 or 4 years before that. Um, I like it. It's a good school. I'm originally from Mount Olive, North Carolina, which is where they make Mount Olive pickles and me. I'll probably use the videos I'll make in the future as an opportunity to give you a little bit more information about me. Where's the dog? Oh, there she is. This is Phoebe, and holding Phoebe is Rachel. Hi. All right. So let's move on to the course information. So let me remove me from the screen. When you log on to Blackboard and you click on the course profile, odds are you're going to see this page first. It's the announcements page, and I'm going to be posting announcements throughout the semesters to keep you guys updated. If it's something that's really important, like some sort of emergency, then in addition to posting the announcement here, I'm going to forward this exact same message to your student email account. So be sure that you stay up to date on your student email. Now, Instructor information tab on the left here. This is going to have contact information about me. This is my email address. Have that written down somewhere. In fact, let me make that a little bigger. Maybe you can read that. If something happens to where you think you're going to miss an assignment deadline, or for some reason Blackboard isn't working for you, then email me and I'll see if I can't help you get that straightened out. My work phone number, you can call that. If I'm not in my office, though, it's not going to be very useful for you. For those of you who are familiar with Forsyth Tech's main campus, my office is in the Hoosier building. That's how we're told that's supposed to be pronounced. And these are my office hours. Like, feel free to come by and visit me, but be sure to email first because there are other responsibilities I have around campus that might have me outside of my office, but odds are I'll be somewhere nearby. So, we already looked at the announcements tab, right? And underneath that is the course information tab. Now, the most important piece of information here is the course syllabus. We also have the universal course policies and procedures, which is just the bylaws that apply to all the courses that are being taught by Forsyth Tech. This one is a course-specific syllabus for the 2 online classes I have this semester, and it is oddly spaced out, but all the information is there. Starts out with the same contact information that we just saw. Now, in addition to my contact information is Laura Hortals. She is my supervisor. If you have a problem while you're working through the class and you don't feel comfortable bringing it up with me, then Laura Hortal is the lady you should talk to. This is her phone number and this is her email address. Ideally, I would prefer that if you have an issue, bring it up with me first. But if there's something, like I said, that you don't feel comfortable talking to me about, then she doesn't mind getting emails. She's cool. So, 2 important dates here. August 26th, that is the census date for the class. You absolutely have to have the course entry assignment completed before August 26th by 11:59 p.m. If not, then you'll automatically be withdrawn from the class, and there's really nothing I can do about that. October 25th is another important date because that's the 60% date in the class. Um, if Wait, I'll just talk about that later when we talk about withdrawing from the class and absences and stuff. So, materials required, basically none. You just have to have access to Blackboard. Everything that you have to know will be available on Blackboard. The course description and the learning outcomes are here in the syllabus. If you're particularly interested, then by all means, look up the syllabus, go through this stuff. Assignment submissions, I definitely want to speak to you about that. Everything that you submit to me should be submitted through Blackboard. There might be emergency situations where you're having issues with Blackboard. I can email me first, and then we can work out an alternative means of submission, and that might be where you can email me the document that you've made as an attachment, but email me first. If I'm not made aware of the issues that are going on, then I just can't accept late work. It's the only way that I can keep up with things in anything remotely resembling a timely manner. So that's what that stuff says. The attendance policy, that's another interesting one. Being that this is an online class, this whole 5 hours missing, I can't keep up with the 5 hours in an online class. So what that will look like in this particular course, if you miss more than 2 main assignments by the 60% mark, which is that October date, then and it looks like you're not going to be successful in the class, then I'll have to drop you from the course before we get to that point. I'm not going to automatically drop you if you miss an assignment, and I'm going to email you first, just letting you know what's going on. But once we get past the 60% mark, I can't withdraw you from the class. It's no longer an option. So you would just have to write out the rest of the semester with an F. So the expected course schedule is at the very bottom of the syllabus. And I know how important this is when you're taking an online class. It'd be a good idea to print this off. Now you'll notice most of the modules that we have here have a 1 week time limit on them. The ones that don't have an asterisk next to them, the asterisk usually indicates that there's an extended time of 2 weeks, and that applies to all of them except for this very first section that we're working through here, which is modules 1 and 2. You have 10 days to work on that one, a week and a half. Then that will include the course entry assignment that a lot of you have already done, and I'm going to be making and posting a quiz about the information, most of which will be in Module 2. I'll show you that in just a second. Now, there is a possibility that some of this information will have to be changed at some point. If that is the case, then I will send you an email that will let you know exactly what has changed and exactly what you're responsible for. Like I don't think that anybody likes surprises when it comes to online courses. So there's that, and my sidebar is way up here at the top. Let me go back up to that, and I'll show you where the rest of the course information is. The assignments tab is the most important one because that's where I'm going to be posting everything that you're responsible for throughout the course. And you notice that the modules are already up and most of the information is available. The only thing that's missing at this point are supplemental videos that I have yet to make. I want to make them specifically for the courses that I'm teaching now, and a lot of the assignments specifically. Now, just to make sure that no one has issues working through this first discussion board, let me open that up and show you how to make a post, which a lot of you guys have been busy, a lot of you will not need that help. But what you'll have to do is create a thread right there. All right. Scroll back up. The subject line, it can be anything that you want it to be. You can type your name. I'm just going to fill this in. Let's see. I want to go fast. Ricky Bobby for you. All right, so let's say that's your post. You can just type that in and click on the submit button here. If you want to embed an image, which I really would appreciate, you can click here. All right, and it should ask to browse your computer. You click on that, and it should take you, oh, how about that? You'll open this. Now, it might be wrong file size. Let me see if I can move this screen up just a little bit. And I cannot. So you might have to resize it, but you can click Insert. All right, and there it is. And then all you have to do is click Submit just like you would if it didn't have an image. And then when you do that, you can back out of the discussion board. All my buttons are in the way up here. All right. And you should see your name, the name of this is the subject line that you typed in. And if you see that up here, that means that you've done everything well and you're just waiting for me to put a grade on it or waiting for other people to read it. Now, if you get a chance, go ahead and start familiarizing yourself with the course material. Like I said, I will be adding things as we go along. But it'd be a good idea to get an idea, whatever, what's available, because Module 1 is very short. There's really not a lot of specific information, but there's not a lot there, which is very different from Module 2. Module 2 is very dense with information. So in order to help you sort of plan out how you're going to work through the information, be a good idea just to look through. Now, just to explain this. These PowerPoint presentations at the top, those are going to correspond with the videos that I'll be posting. I'm going to go through the images that I have through here and I'll explain why I think they're relevant. I'll give you some context and explain the content a little bit more. But there's already a lot of supplemental information here that will give you a really good foundation for everything that I'll be making the videos about later. See a lot of videos and imagery. There's some material that's typed out here. You'll probably find a typo or a grammatical error every once in a while. That's just because I'm not perfect. Oh, look, there's another video. But just look through if you have time. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Otherwise, I look forward to just getting to know you guys and working with you throughout the semester.